Starting on a new water can be a bit of a challenge. Learning the patrol routes, where the fish like to feed, and of course the correct rigs to use. But one thing I don't have to worry about is bait. And after a successful first trip on Lake 8 at the Woolpack, which saw me land a string of fish.
Well, what an amazing way to end my first session down here on Lake 8.
Including a lovely old original common.
And this absolutely stunning old original Woolpack common has rattled off. Absolutely buzzing with this one.
Here is how I prepare my boilies for the spring.
Springtime for me is all about pumping as much attraction into my freebies as possible. The reason why I like to do this is because I'm using sort of minimal bait, and as the seasons go on, so we're in the first week of April now, so I'm only actually putting really sort of 5 pouchfuls out with the catapult. But as the seasons go on, I'm going to increase my bait more and more and more. And by just increasing the attractiveness of your bait when you're putting a little bit out, obviously it's increasing the attractiveness all around that hook bait. So the actual boilie that I use in the spring is the Bug. And I'm just going to show you exactly how I prepare these. Now, in terms of the preparation of my boilies, I will be doing this generally 48 hours in advance of the session. So yeah, Bug boilies, 15mm, that's what I'm using this session. So the first thing that I'm going to do with my boilies is select a thin liquid food. And this is the Bug liquid food. And I'm just going to put a very light coating of this on. You definitely don't want too much of this. So just a little light coating. Obviously just mix that up. Just make sure they're obviously all coated. And then I would leave those to soak for 24 hours. And all that's going to do is just obviously all of that liquid, because it's thin, is going to soak right into that boilie. Once those 24 hours are up, I'm then going to start adding thicker liquids, and these are going to make the boilie really tacky. So when I get those, they'll be sort of semi-dry after that 24-hour period. And the next thing I'm going to add is 2 liquids, so the Spod Hydro syrup, again in the Bug. Don't need loads of it, just a little coating. Now you might think that this is really excessive. However, I believe it does give me a real edge when I'm just using a little bit of bait. So that's what they'll look like when they're sort of coated with those 2 liquids. Now you could just leave it at that and it would do you very well. But the final thing, I want to add sort of a little bit of smoke all around this free bait as well. So with that, I'm going to be using the brand new Amino smoke, and again in the Bug. Again, just coat your boilies with this. You can add quite a bit of this actually. I do really like a nice cloud within that water column. So again, just give it a mix. And then I would leave that basically to soak in for a further 24 hours. And then just before I'm starting my session, I then add a little bit of insect meal. With regards to this, you don't want to add loads. I actually prefer it just a tiny little bit, and I'm not looking for a really thin coat. Again, just give it a stir. All I'm really looking for, it just ends up with like little tiny black specks along the boilie. Now, once those 48 hours are up, they will go extremely tacky, and this is just a mix that I did 48 hours ago. And as you can see there, it's gone really gloopy. And it has a really quick breakdown time as well. With the addition of the liquids, of course, all those liquids are going to be dispersed along the lake bed. And in terms of sort of, if you are concerned with regards to sticking these out or catapulting them, you do have to obviously consider it. Catapulting them is perfectly fine. With a throwing stick, they also go out well. Just make sure that you're constantly wetting that throwing stick as you're putting them out. I feel that that is a really good edge for me in the spring when I'm just using a little bit of bait, catapulting 30 boilies around your hook bait, maximising your attraction. It works extremely well for me, and it's worked brilliantly this session. So if you are looking to use the Bug this year, feel free to obviously give that a go.